Just Because Buzz. I'm Merritt Crawford. Thank you for joining me. So the Just Because Buzz is a FlossTube channel about cross stitch, quilting, wool applique, and other needle arts. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. Welcome. If you're a subscriber that has been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. So it's a beautiful day here in South Central Kentucky on Lake Cumberland, and we have sun, which is really great. We've had some sunny days the last few days. Prior to that, last weekend we had snow, and we had snow that prior weekend to that, so we still have snow on the ground even. It's been pretty cold after having all of that weather, and you may see in the intro I'll put a little bit of video of what it looks like out my back window. But I'm so happy that you're here with me today. You may see that my shelves are decorated a little bit with Valentine's because I wasn't sure I would make it back before Valentine's. Today is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. So Happy New Year. I really am excited that you've joined me today. Just life update, had a great Christmas, had my daughter and son-in-law in from Alabama, and we got to go up to Lexington and visit my parents and just had a great time together, and had a good New Year. So just great time. Yeah, it was good. Did miss my sister. She did not get to come up, and normally she gets to come up at Christmas. That's when we get to see her. But work kept her in New Orleans this time, so missed her. So I got to see my cousin not too long ago. She and her husband were driving through, so that was really fun. She lives out in Colorado, and they came by and spent the night with my parents, so I drove back up to Lexington to visit them, and that was really a lot of fun. I'm working on looking for some extra employment. I'm a dietitian, so trying to look in the area and see if I can find some extra hours to work. So if you're prone to praying, I would appreciate that. I'm really trying to seek the Lord and figure out where I should be working, and just need some part-time hours to help out. So that would be great. So wanted to talk to you about my stitching. We're going to do what I've been working on lately, and then a WIP parade. And I don't have a lot of WIPs. I have more than I would prefer, and so I hope to get that count down. But I have really enjoyed the things that I am stitching on currently, and so I'm not upset that I have the number that I have, and I'll let you count as we go. So the first thing I want to start off with is an old FFO, and these are just some things back here on my shelf that I'll go over with you. They're kind of Valentine's themed, so I thought we would talk about those for a few minutes before we jump into my most recent FOs. So these are older FFOs from the last few years. So up here, the love pillow, that was just my own handwriting, and I just put it into my software for cross stitch design and came up with that, and just finished it as a pillow. I'll pull it a little closer. So I put a little charm there, cross, and then put rickrack across, and it has some beading. And used a cute little Valentine fabric, and used the same fabric on the back. And last year, if you've been with me since last year, I was studying the fruits of the Spirit out of Galatians, and so this was in tribute to that. Okay, and then I have this little piece. This is a little spool, just a vintage spool, and I used the Brenda Keys sampler motif book and grabbed these letters and just made like a little spool sign. Added a piece of velveteen ribbon and a little charm, and then attached it with a button and some pretty fabric on the back there. This is just a little perforated paper piece that I finished with some rickrack on the edge, have some wool on the back, and just a little hanger. And just thought that was cute. This is a heart and hand scissor fob. I can bring it a little closer, it's hard to see. So, it's like a little quilted. It's got some beading on it. Did the rickrack, or not rickrack, with the cording. And right now I'm using it just as a little ornament on my tree. Okay, so then this is another heart and hand. And it has all those fun little motifs. I've got crushed walnut shells and a little chenille trim with a little button. Everybody likes the conversation hearts, and so I just did 4 in like a little 4-patch with a little vintage button that's like a quilting motif on there. Finished it by closing the back with a yo-yo and more conversation hearts fabric. This is just stuck with polyfill. This is not necessarily Valentine, but it's kind of pink. So this is a Blackbird design. It is out of the book, the Sewing Club book. And the Saturday Stitchers, we all stitched this and then completed it together on a Zoom call. That was so much fun. This is Primrose Cottage. Just finished it in a little pin pillow, chenille trim, buttons that are layered. I layered 2 buttons there. And I did a finish on the back where you cut the 2 pieces and sew part way stuff and then do a ladder stitch to close it. So it looks like a really neat closure. These are 2 bookmarks that I made, and I actually have a tutorial on my channel that shows how to do these bookmarks. And they're using the elastic, decorative elastic. This one has like a ruffle edge, and this one's just kind of sparkly pink. And you can buy them on little, they're kind of like little cards like you would find rickrack on, and it's just either a ruffle or kind of, it's got a sheen to it, if you can see that. And it comes in different colors. There's like a cream and there's white. This also comes in white, maybe some other colors now. I finished them with a wool back, and this is perforated paper, but they're little bookmarks. But there is a tutorial that I did last year on that. I'll try to remember to link it below. This is another heart and hand, and just finished it like a little ornament. And this is a real pale pink fabric. This was just fun to make last year before. I did a little envelope, and you can pretend to close it, but it's got cute little stamps in there. So you can take little pieces of fabric and glue them on to wool and then cut them out with pinking shears, and you have these cute little love stamps, and they're just fun to stick in envelopes that you're sending. And it's a great way to use just scraps of paper. You could use paper or scraps of fabric. So just fun. These are some older Leisure Arts pieces that I've made. I haven't put the trim on this or even covered the back yet. This has been like this for a couple of years now, so people that have been with me have seen this rose. This is a little heart, and it almost looks like wallpaper to me, the way it was done. And I finished it on the back with a little piece of wool and a little button and bow. And this one was done the same way, so covering them up. When this you see, remember me. And I have it in my cute little dish. Pink depression glass. One other thing that I have over here. And this was just a little pocket that I made. And it can hang, and you can put greenery in it, or you can put candy in it for a gift. And this is a heart-shaped yo-yo. It has a pearl bead in the center. So those are just some of my previous finishes for Valentine's. I thought I'd show those to you. All right, now we're going to get into most recent FOs and FFOs. So in my Christmas video, I showed you this pattern that I had gotten from Robin Chappelle. It's Samperbird Stitchery. Okay, and I already had the red box. I haven't completely finished it, but I have it mounted on the red box, and then I have my floss to make the cording. I just haven't done that yet. So it turned out really cute. I love it. Very cute design, Miss Robin. Love that. Okay, and then my blessing sampler this year was from Barberry Row. It's called Cherry Ripe Sampler. It is by Sherilyn. I'm not sure what Sherilyn's last name is. Let's see if I have it on here. Not seeing her last name. She is Sherilyn Whiteman. She is in New Zealand, and she has an Etsy shop, and I'll try to remember to link that below for you. But this is my sampler. These are the colors that I used. She calls for DMC, but I did a color conversion with just some of my overdyes in cotton. And I'm going to show you my piece. I haven't done the hem stitch yet, and I want to do that and do a tutorial, or maybe not even a tutorial really, because I've never done it before. I may just do like watch along or something like that, you know, watch along with me. But this is the finished sampler part, at least. So I really enjoyed doing this. It was quick, but it was fun. It kept my attention. I loved the colors, and it was so enjoyable. And I put it on Instagram. My Instagram account is So Just Because, and you can look it up. It's actually so_just_, and then because, BeeCuzz, and you can look it up that way. So that's the best Instagram to follow. I do have a personal account too, but the best one to follow as far as my stitching would be that one. So I do want to do the hem stitch on this and have it as a little sampler to lay out for display. Okay, so I completed this for my daughter, and I will insert a picture of it for you so that you can see it. I've already given it to her, and it's hanging on her coat, and it's in her room, and she's not here, so I didn't want to just go in her room and get it, but I'll insert a picture and show you this. I didn't do the edge around, I didn't do the blue edging. I left it simple. So I enjoyed that, and she really liked it. And then I forgot to pull one pattern. Let's see, it's this one. This is the one that I did for my daughter. So my other daughter, the swan was for Katie, and for Jessica I did the heifer, and I made her an ornament out of this one. This is a Teresa Kogut, and so I'll insert a picture for you for this as well, and she really liked it. So, and then the next piece that I finished is Cardinal Ken. I had barely started this during my Christmas video, so I did get a finish on it. And I think it turned out really cute. This is 46 count believe it's called Oat. It is from Hobby Lobby. And so it's going to make a really small little pillow for display. But it is so cute. Get it in a little closer. I do want to try something on this 46 count. I noticed that my DMC, this is a combination of DMC and Weeks Dye Works, whatever she called for. And I used the color conversion. She's got 2 on the chart. I used the color conversion that used the cayenne for the red of the bottom cardinal. And I noticed that in this 46 count, my cotton threads were shredding a little bit, and especially after multiple passes through the linen. So I would like to see about using some finer silk on the 46 count and see how that works. I'm sure it would do a little bit better and maybe not shred. But I'm pleased with it. It turned out really pretty. And then the final one that I have, let me just double check my FOs, is Mr. Snowman. And so this is a Brenda Gervais, or Mr. Marshmallow. I've been calling him Mr. Snowman the whole time, but Mr. Marshmallow, which makes sense because it says hot cocoa on the bowl or the cup. Okay. And Mr. Marshmallow is on a 36 count Kermit. I'm having trouble getting him out of the bag. And I haven't added the buttons or the white bow across the cup yet, but I will. You do all that when you are getting close to, when you're doing the FFOing. So I want to do it right before I completely finish it. So 36 count, Picture This Plus, Kermit is the background fabric. And then there's Mr. Snowman. He's super cute. A lot of fun to work on. And it was perfect for the type of weather we were having at the time. So, and then I had a new start, and I'm not counting that as a WIP. My friend Louise and I decided to start one of Teresa Kogut's Santas. And the Santa that we decided on is the Woodland Santa that came out in her newsletter, if you were receiving her newsletter. I don't think it's available now. I'm not sure what her plan is with it. If you didn't get it in the newsletter, I'm not sure how you would get it. But anyway, hopefully you were getting her newsletter and you got it. So what we've decided is we each got a start on it last Friday when we decided we wanted to start one of them. And then on the 25th of each month, we want to make some progress. We didn't really do homework assignments. We just said on the 25th, we'd like to work on our Woodland Santa. So this is the chart I'm talking about. And I did change his coat, the main body of his coat, to a different color. She calls for 801 DMC. All of the chart is charted for DMC, but I wanted my Santa coat to have a little bit more red to it. And the red that I chose is Ruby Slipper by the Gentle Art. So it does have some variegation in it. It has some lighter parts in it and has some darker parts. And I have him on one of my handy rolls. Okay, and so I got his face done for the most part. Now I'm ready to add the beard and head down. So that's what the Ruby Slipper looks like. I'm using light mocha, a 36 count. And so the rest of this is all DMC. and I really enjoyed him. It was hard to put him down after I got this started. I thought, oh, this is my first Teresa Kogut Santa, and so it's kind of hard to put him down because she does such a great job with those. So I will look forward to stitching him on the 25th with Louise. Okay, so that brings you up to date of what I've been stitching and finishing. I've got some FOs, and then that one you start, the Mr. Marshmallow and the Woodland Santa. Seemed like I had one more start, but maybe not. Anyway, those are done. So now I'm going to get into my WIPs, and I will probably have to look at my piece of paper so that I can stay on track. But I went through and tried to put them in order of how old they were. So the oldest bringing each forward to the latest start, which would, or WIP, which would be through December of 2024. So my oldest WIP that I'm counting in this video that I'm actively working on is Consider the Lilies. And let's see, let me grab. So for those of you that may have not seen this pattern before, this is Heartstring Samplery. She is a big girl. And I'm doing mine on 36 count Winter Moon with mostly, well, it's actually a combination of some of the called for overdyes and then quite a few of the DMC. So this is quite the color palette. There's just a lot of them. So I've done somewhat of a press job on each of these pieces, the bigger pieces. And even this board is not going to be big enough for this piece because it is quite large. So I will stand back. So I'll bring it in close, but this is how big it is. It's pretty big, even on 36 count. So where I've been working, let me bring this over. When I pulled it out, I've been working it on Sundays again. I used to work on it on Sundays, and I had gotten away from that a little bit. And when I pulled it out the first Sunday of January, I realized when I showed it to you at Christmas that I had not finished this motif. And maybe some of you all saw it, but anyway, I came back and finished this motif. All right, and then, see if we can get it back open. Now, I'm over here working on, so I've added the little dogs, I've finished these trees, and then I've added Adam and Eve. I've started on the tree, I had the snake in, so I've started on the tree. And I've gotten the tree, this is the top of the tree, so they'll start getting the branches in. So trying to definitely dedicate my Sunday stitching to at least getting a motif in or getting a large portion in. And so as soon as I finish the tree part, then I will start going down here and adding motifs. I would really like to finish it this year. This was started in, let's see, I have it written down. I've got it as a New Year's Eve start of 2021. So 12/31/21 is when I started it. So I've got the border all the way around. I don't have all the lilies all the way around, but I have the lilies to the middle there. And then need to finish the tree and the apples on the tree, and then I'll start the motifs and the lilies at the bottom portion. So I think it's doable. I think it's realistic to believe that I could finish it this year, especially if I continue to, the last 2 Sundays I have worked on this, and especially if I get down to that bottom area and start trying to dedicate 2 motifs or so, especially if there's like a couple of small ones, do multiple motifs each Sunday in the afternoon. I could probably get that done. Okay, so the next one is Winter Rose Manor. Let's see. Bear with me as I get my books out and make sure I'm showing you everything. So, Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I'm stitching this on Brenda's Brood 36 count. I'm using conch, which is for the house. The conch. And I'm using antique lace for the white. My roasted marshmallow, which is in the called for, was too yellow for my liking for the snow. So I decided to switch it. So I have made some more progress on this. Get it a little bit closer for you to see. And such a pretty, pretty chart. So that's Winter Rose Manor. The next one is Christmas stamps. So let's see, where's my Christmas stamps? So Christmas stamps is a Madame Chantilly, and I am doing them individually. I had done a advent calendar individual, I think it was by Madame Chantilly as well. And I showed it in my last Christmas video. They're the little blue pillows that I hang on the greenery. And so again, I decided to do another set. So one daughter would have one set and one daughter would have the other. And I will show you what is stitched so far. So I'm going to lay a couple out here. I do have a few of these made. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I've changed some of the, let's see, what did I do with my pattern? So on this one, the little bird in the pattern is brown. I don't know if it's going to focus. And then I changed him to a little blue bird. All right, so then let's do 5, 6, 7, 8. So those. Very cute. And then okay, so these brings it through 11. So I have the first 11 completed. And so I will pick up on 12 when I pick this up again. And I just have this all housed in my little gingerbread bag, cute little fabrics, inside fabric, so cute. And everything's in here. I just can pick it up, and even the fabrics I've already cut them and they're ready to go. Okay, then the next thing I have is something I had really kind of experimented with, and I need to just go ahead and finish it. Let's see if I can find. So it was a JBW design, and I've stitched it once, and then I wanted to experiment with this Caron fabric. So this is the French Country Flower Basket. And I wanted to experiment with this pretty, it's kind of a wad now. It's like all these kind of spring colors. And so I've started stitching it. I think this is like a 25 count or 28 count. And I decided to do it over one, so it's really tiny. It's pretty. So I need to get back to that and finish it up. And you know what? I think I was showing you the back. Was I showing you the back? I was showing you the back, I think. I was. Oh dear. Okay, let's try this again. There you go. So it is pretty, but tiny. So I need to finish that. How many times am I going to say that on this video? Okay. Prairie Schooler Santas. I have a couple of these going. Let's see where we are. I have, one of them is 1986 and one of them is 2008. I'm not sure which is which, but there you go. So I have Prairie Schooler Santas going. And this is a cloth. It's about 18 count, so I'm doing it over one with my own color conversion. I wanted just a little bit different red. So I can show you, I have completed, there's some others that I've finished. And I do like how they look. This one's really pretty. I love the, let me use my board for this one. I love the reindeer in his coat. It's just so pretty. So I have a few of them already completed. And need to get back to that. That's pretty easy stitching. It's not bad. You can't use the sewing method on this particular fabric because it'll slide under. I've heard other people talk about some of the other fabrics that they've used, the Dobos, I believe. It's hard to use the sewing method because your stitches will slip. So, okay, then I have When Flowers Bloom. This is the Brenda Gervais. I don't have the cover with me, but I can show you where I am on it. So When Flowers Bloom. And this is on 40 count. It's a Mystic Fiber. I'm not sure the name of the fabric though. I was having a little trouble with my white showing up. I wish her apron showed up a little bit better, but I'm not ripping it out. So I'm going to proceed. But I do like it. It's very pretty. So When Flowers Bloom with I Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Okay, so the next one is Enchanting Moments. This is a Paula Vaughn that my friend Christine from Hollis Hands Creates. She and I decided to start a Paula Vaughn and just work on it at our leisure. And mine is out of this book, At Home with Paula Vaughn. And the one I'm doing is this one. And I'm doing it on 36 count Winter Moon, which is the same fabric I'm using for Consider the Lilies. So you can see it's very confetti heavy, but so beautiful when they're completed. So that's Paula Vaughn. There's quite a few colors in that. This is This is only a partial amount of the colors that are in. I have so many more colors. I wound up putting a lot of them in a separate little box just because there were just so many. So, yeah. To get that kind of definition and coloring, she used a lot of different DMCs, and that's all DMC. Okay, so then I have Merry Little Christmas, and this is by Shakespeare's Peddler. And this particular one, when it first came out, it was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And this is the 2023 winter. And this is the one that I'm doing, the one on the cover. And I believe she has since released this, if you don't get this magazine. So I did work on it some this particular Christmas season and added some of the motifs. I think before all I had was the wording when I picked it up again this Christmas. So I've added a few of the motifs. So I still have a ways to go on that. Some of it you can't see, but there's all kinds of little doodads in there. There's snow at the bottom. There's a little garland at the top. So yeah, I still have quite a bit to go on this. Even though it's a small piece, it's got lots of little doodads and stitches in there. But that's what makes it so fun. Okay. So those were my WIPs, active WIPs from 2021. They were started in 2021. Consider the Lilies was the last day of 2021 through 2023. So those are 8 WIPs that I had over those 2 years. The next set of WIPs that I'm going to show you, they were all started last year and they'll be carried on over into this year. And so there's the first one that I had on January 1st, and this is a Blackbird design, Quaker Garden. And I kind of stalled on this a little bit because I was concerned about my colors showing up, but looking at it now, they look like they're showing up really well, so I think I'm going to proceed. I need to get this going. I really, really like it. So I was stitching this with my friend Teresa from Jersey Girl Stitch Co, and Teresa's already finished hers, so I really need to get going and finish it. It's so pretty and just has just beautiful motifs and colors, and so let me get that going. The next one I started was Fiona Rutherford, and this is a wishing thorn pattern. I didn't switch my pattern around so I could show you the front, but here we go. So I had ordered a kit from the Wishing Thorn, and so the kit came with the fabric and it came with the 4 DMC colors that are used. And my friend Shelly at Antique Needleworkers, she's also working on this. You may have seen progress that she has shown. And so I would say I'm probably 2/3 of the way through this. I still have the house to do, so I'm not far. I could get this done, surely. And I believe this fabric is a vintage country mocha. It kind of looks like that. Let's see. And it's Fiona Rutherford, 1866. And she sent us 32 count Belfast linen. doesn't say what color it is. But it kind of looks like a vintage country mocha or country mocha. So you stitch it over one. But I think I should get a finish on this year for sure. I don't think it would take too long. Maybe a week of working on it at night. I might be able to finish that. That would be wonderful to get a finish on that. That would be my third 1866 sampler. So if you've heard me talk about, you'll know how old I am. I was born in 1966, so there you go. And I just thought it would be neat to do samplers that are dated 100 years before I was born. And so I've done Margaret Beatty, which is a hats. I've done, I'm working on Fiona, and then I've done a Margaret, I believe it's Faulkner, or M. Faulkner, H. Faulkner. And so I haven't framed any of them, so I need to get busy on that too. But Margaret's finished, and then H. Faulkner is finished, and then this one's close. So then I would have 3. So then that would be a good goal to go ahead and get them finished and get them framed and on the wall so I can start my wall. Okay, the next one I have is Though He Seemeth, nope, is Just a Girl, Teresa Koga. So this particular piece was a retreat piece. I think it's been released. And so I'm stitching this with my friend Anne, who was also at the retreat. That's where I got to meet her. And so I've stitched the first one. And this is called Just a Girl. And the first one is this one. And I've already stitched it. Making Beautiful Things. And so this is my progress on Just a Girl. And Anne and I had set out a stitching assignment, and I have fallen off the stitching assignments terribly. So I need to pull those back out and see where I need to be. Really, I need to be done, because we would have been done by then. She may be done. But anyway, it's a beautiful stitch. Teresa's master with color and design. So all right, so the next one is Though He Seemeth Sleeping. And this is one that I've been currently working on this week to complete my homework. And this is it. It's a Lucy Beam. And I'm doing this with my friend April and several others. Kim, the Stay-at-Home Quilter, Celeste of Celeste Creates. Let's see, who else is doing it with us? Maybe Kathy Firth with Carolina Cross Stitcher. Drawing a blank on other people that are doing it right now. You can go check out April's Instagram, because she'll tag the people that are working on it with her. So this is where I am. So this week I have added these 2 berry baskets, and I've added these 2 motifs. And so probably tonight I'll be adding the age of the little girl. There is an over one for the year, and then I may stop there because I'm kind of over the assignment. The berry baskets were kind of part of this month's assignment and part of next month's assignment, and in February is our last assignment. So this particular WIP will be finished next month, so that's exciting. I'll have one WIP completely off my list next month. So that is really, it's such a beautiful sampler, and I'm using the Gentle Art conversion. She has several conversions in the pattern that you can choose from, and I decided on the Gentle Art, and I'm really enjoying it. Such a beautiful sampler. Okay, so now Margaret Hutton, and I haven't worked on Margaret since I went to the Hats Retreat last May. But that's okay. I will get to her. So Margaret Hutton. And she is being stitched with, I'm using Soie d'Alger is what I chose to use. And so this is where I am. Again, I haven't made any progress since I last showed it to you, which was probably this past summer. And then when I moved, it was like, okay, that's been put on the back burner. It is silk. I believe Soie d'Alger's are silks. And so my hands in the wintertime, I suffer with the dryness and trying to keep them moisturized. And so anyway, right now working with silks is probably not the best idea based on them getting snagged. But there's a lot of specialty stitches that we learned at this retreat, which are just beautiful. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to this and getting this finished. This linen is probably the darkest linen I've ever stitched a sampler on. It's a beautiful linen, but wow, it's dark. I've not stitched on one that dark before. Let's see if I can tell you which one it is. I don't know if she tells you or not what they chose for this. Muddy Duck by Tabby Cat. So it's a little darker. I mean, it doesn't, the picture doesn't look that dark, but it's beautiful, and those colors pop up of it. So very nice. They gave us a little pouch for our silks. So I do have some little bags to put them in when I get that far. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the floss away bags to keep them neat and tidy, hopefully. Okay, the next one I have is American Welcome. And American Welcome is in this cute little bunny bag that I made with a scissor holder. And American Welcome is a Plum Street, and it is a big girl. But I love this chart, and being now living on a lake, it just looked like something I'd want on my wall. And it has quite the color palette. I'm using mostly the call for. Did make some changes, but it's quite a color palette. Lots of different colors in there. And I'm stitching mine on a Fox and Rabbit Eureka. So I've gotten quite a bit of progress on this summer. I worked on it quite a lot because I was just enjoying it so much. So of course I have to finish this row of houses, and then there's a lighthouse over here as well, and then all of the water, and then there's wording down here as well. So I do have a stretch to go. There's motifs within the water, the little fish and the sailboats. So I do have a ways to go. But that would be a good goal to finish for this summer. Okay, and then Honey of a Tiny Town. This is in another bag with a fun little zipper case for scissors. And Honey of a Tiny Town looks like this. And I am stitching it on a piece of 16 count Aida, actually, because I already had it. It was in this shape already. It was already cut in this shape. I thought, I just need to use that. And I think it's so cute, and I love the colors. I don't mind stitching 2 threads over the one square. That doesn't bother me at all. But I really enjoyed that. And for Christmas, I received, let's see, trying to see if I see my little, yeah, here it is. I received the spool from Pete's Bee Scout. My mom and dad gave this to me for Christmas. So this piece will go on the spool. So I'm so excited to get that finished. And it's beautiful, Peter and Kathy. I love it. So, Honey of a Tiny Town. So excited to work on that and get that finished. So I have a few of my WIPs. They're not too far off. If I could keep myself from starting too many, I might be able to finish some of these others. Okay. Then I have, and by the way, I started Honey of a Tiny Town as part of Pick Any Tiny Town to work with April and Celeste, and I think both of them finished theirs. But anyway, it was fun to start with them. And then the monthly series, I've been working on this monthly series for a very long time. Y'all have seen me work on this monthly series. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. So it is the classic, or Country Cottage Needleworks. It's hard to see this picture, it's so tiny, but it's the August one. And I don't have a whole lot of start on it, but I do have a start, and it's considered a WIP, starting on the pink house. Wouldn't you love to live in a pink house? That's so cute. On the beach. Oh, that'd be fun. Okay, so that's that one. That is on 32 count Beautiful Beige. It came with all the kits. So that's, every one of those is stitched with the same. And it's Classic Colorworks threads. Then On a Low Branch. So On a Low Branch, I started with my friend Kim. Hey Kim. Contented Needleworker Kim. She went to the attic today. How fun. That's so fun. A lot of people are at the attic today. Having sampler symposium, I believe. So this is Mojo Stitches On a Low Branch. And I am doing mine with Kentucky Bluegrass, a Week Style Works. And I'm stitching it on a fabric by Luminous Fiber Arts. And this is it. So that's where I am so far, and I really am enjoying this. And right now, because I finished my red rooster, I don't really have a 1 red thread a day. So my goal was to make this my 1 thread a day, and I haven't been real successful at that. So I need to keep it out and just put that thread in either in the morning or before I start my regular stitching at night, and just put that 1 thread in, and then that way I can make some more progress on it, because I do want to get this one finished this year, not carry it over. Okay, we're coming to the end, girls and guys. All right, so Miss Liberty. Miss Liberty was a birthday start with my friend Louise. And again, we pulled out a Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And this one is from the 2024 summer edition. And Miss Liberty happens to be on the back. And we did a homework assignment for this so that we could make sure that we had it done before the patriotic holidays start. And so for January, we were supposed to do the blue dress. And so I have my January homework done. In February, we're going to finish. It'll be the bottom portion of the dress will be it. So let me show you a bigger picture. Find it. Just flipping through this, there's so many fantastic. So you can see the red and the white on her dress. That's what we'll need to stitch for February. So it's 3 colors, the white and then the 2 different reds. So in February, I'll actually have finished 2 of these WIPs. I know for sure that I'll be down 2 WIPs, so that's great. So that's Miss Liberty by Teresa Kogut. And then the next one is Feast of Friendship. And Feast of Friendship, there are several of us working on this. We're kind of doing a sal. Again, we decided to do homework assignments. So my friend Louise is doing this. My friend Jan, Roberta Lyle is doing it with us. Lenny's also stitching this, but she had already started. She's kind of on a different schedule, so to speak. But we put this on a schedule. If you're interested in joining us, you can. We are on January. We only have done 3 months, so it's not too terribly difficult to catch up with us, actually, because we've just basically done the border and we're doing the side border. And the little doodads across the top, like the stars, and the little doodads across the top were for December. We kind of went light on December so people could get it done. And I'm using mostly the Gentle Art colors. Just beautiful, beautiful colors. And again, I'm using the Fox and Rabbit Eureka. And this is mine. So I've started on the January homework. I've completed the November homework and the December homework. So the January homework is to come down here, do this border, and then to also do the acorns that are on here. So the acorns hanging there on the side. So our goal for this particular stitch is to have this completed by August. So the last piece, last stitching would be done in August, and then that gives us a couple of months if we want to have it completely finished, have it framed or whatever. So we'd have it for November or late October. We could actually have it completely done. So we stay up on our homework. So that's been kind of fun. I've had 3 projects that I've had homework assignments, and I don't know that I would want more than that in a month to keep up with, but 3's been okay. And like I said, 2 of them are going to come off this month, and then I'll just have Feast of Friendship to carry through the year. And then I'll have the Christmas stitching that we're doing with just the Woodland Santa, doing it on the 25th. So I feel like that gives me some freedom to finish some of these other WIPs. Some of these WIPs, there's not much left to do, not a ton of stitching left to do. Some of them there's a lot. As you know, Consider the Lilies, Enchanting Moments, the Paula Vaughn piece. That's a very slow stitch for me because of the confetti stitching. I do enjoy it, and when I get into it and start stitching it, it's really, really beautiful, and I'm enjoying it, and I'll love it when it's done. I've done at least one other Paula Vaughn. I've done maybe a few other. The rose I showed you might have been a Paula Vaughn, but I feel like some of my WIPs that I've shown you, they're not huge pieces. Some of them are, but we'll see how much progress I make. So the last WIP I have is the gingerbread sewing book by Stacy Nash. Many of you have seen this. It was a Jingle Ball exclusive. And I have finished the front and had started the back. So really, I don't know if I've made any progress since I showed it to you at Christmas. I can't remember, but this is the front of it. And then I've started the back right here. Hardly anything, but. And so I will get back to this, and it's so pretty. I do want to get it finished and have a needle book. I love needle books, and that would be great. Okay, so kind of a wrap up of my WIPs I wanted to share. So that was 20 and 17 different designers. Of the 20, about 2 are really considered small, like the Christmas stamps and the French country piece. Those are really small. I had about 9 medium and 9 large. So I'm hoping those mediums can really shrink down, not have quite as many. I think 10 sounds like a doable number. I'd rather have just maybe 10 WIPs and not 20. Especially since I'm also a quilter and I've set some goals for quilting. So yeah, and then getting some of these larger projects down and not having so many large projects, maybe having one to work on, but not so many at one time. So I've learned, you learn about yourself, you learn what you like, you learn what you're comfortable stitching, you learn what you're comfortable having, sitting in the basket waiting. I do like the idea of stitching on a piece longer. I've been doing that more, and so, you know, if I get this WIP pile down some, I may not be inclined to get it back up because I really like the process of stitching on the one piece, and especially if there's a lot of interest in the piece that keeps your attention, then you're more likely to just keep working on it and finish it. So those are my WIPs. So next, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I received lately as Happy Mail and Christmas gifts. So excuse me while I step out of reach, or step out of the camera for a minute. So one of them I've already shown you. I showed you my Pete's Biscuit spool. So excited to have that. I did enter a contest before Christmas with Buttermilk Basin. She had Santa Stacy on her Instagram, and I won the $25 gift certificate for one of the days. And I got my package yesterday. I chose the Peppermint Log Cabin. It's a kitted little table mat. I thought that was so cute. I think it could even be used at Valentine's because of the pinks and the reds. There's no green, so I think it would just be cute to have out for both of those holidays. And then I also chose this pattern. So I thought that was a really cute pattern. This is called Vintage Candy Cane Quilt, and it is inch by inch collection. So you can see the background is like little inch squares. So I'm interested to see what I'll need for that. But I love the candy cane. I might brighten it up a little bit. I like things a little bit brighter. I like it vintagey, but a little bit brighter. So I got those 2 things yesterday. That was fun. And then one of my stitchy friends, she found this bag. It's not exactly how I spell my name, but just because I put 2 Z's there. How fun is that? It's a little Ray Dunn bag. It's just so cute. And then she found this cute little ornament for me. Isn't that cute? Little bee ornament. So cute. Thank you. And then let's see. Louise sent me some fabric. That's fun. Beautiful fabric. And lace treasures. Look at this. Isn't that fun? You have and trim on a piece. This was crowning of the tree. This was a Christmas gift. Love doing those for blackbird stockings. This was another gift from Louise. Some Lori Holt. Isn't that fun? Oh, that is so fun. Really cute. I have my very own copy of The Raven. And these fabrics are coming out in the fall. They're going to re-release these fabrics. So I'm excited to save my money and do this quilt in these fabrics. That will be fun. Received this as a Christmas gift. Ooh la la. This actually has my next red sampler that I want to do. And I believe it's this one that I picked. So when I finish on a low branch, I want to start my red sampler again. This was also a Christmas gift. Got it kitted from the place in Wisconsin, Country Sampler. And it's Wonderful Life Pink Keep Drum by Stacy Nash. And it has the fabric in it, the floss, and then the finishing for the top. And then one of my friends stitched Henny Penny for me. So cute. She's borrowed the pattern, and then when she returned the pattern, she returned it with a stitch piece. Thank you, Jananne. So cute. And then she also made this. This is from Jananne too. It's a stitching tray. So it's got this quilted mat in the bottom. Lori Holt fabrics. And it's a stitching tray. You can just sit in your lap or sit beside your chair or on the couch and put all your things in there. Keep it all contained. How fun is that? Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, covered up my pad, my information I need to talk to you about. Let's see. So I talked a little bit about quilty projects that I have. Louise and I have been talking about trying to get some of our, in the quilting world, it's called UFOs, when you have unfinished objects in quilting. In cross stitch, we call it WIPs, works in progress. So I have quite a few unfinished projects in quilting too, and I've chosen 25 to get done in 25. So I may do a quilty tube and go through those. That takes, like doing a floss tube, it takes a lot of time to get everything out and probably ironed and to show you the progress of where I am. Or I might pick the top 5 or something of those 25 or something and show you, or maybe do in some way or form to show you what quilts I want to finish this year. So that's coming. Another thing I've thought about doing, it's like a Finish It Friday video where I would finish a project, mainly cross stitch probably, because some of my quiltings are just so big. Finish It Friday where I show you how to do some finishing, or just bring you along while I'm finishing something, not necessarily teaching you anything new, although you may pick up some tips or something, but Finish It Friday. So we might do that. I want to remind you that I do have an Etsy shop. It is So Just Because, and it's where I have my PDF patterns of the cross stitch designs that I've done so far. And there are a few little pin cushions in there as well. So I want to remind you of that. I can link that below. And then I always like to finish my video with an encouraging word. And so lately I've been doing a study called Now and Not Yet. I've spoken with you about that. It's a fantastic study. There's a book and then there's also a workbook. I've read the book. I've done the workbook. She has videos that go along with the workbook. Just a really, really fantastic study. And her name is Ruth Cho Simons, and she's a Christian author, and she's also an artist. Her artwork is just gorgeous, and so I would encourage you to check her out if you haven't already. But the Now and Not Yet book and workbook has really been something that's just hit home with me where I am right now. And that's to say that I'm kind of trying to figure out my work schedule, what type of work I'll be doing. I'm a registered dietitian by trade. I've been consulting for the last 10 years. Prior to that, I was in the hospital. So now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do now that I've moved here, and what opportunities are there for me. And so that's where this scripture is kind of stemming from, where I'm about to have an avalanche of all my stitching. So she had us read this week, in Jeremiah 29, and if you're familiar with scripture, Jeremiah 29:11 might be a really familiar passage to you. And the passage really stems from God talking through Jeremiah to the people of Israel who are now exiles. They're in Babylon. And he's encouraging them to live their lives and to be the people of God that they're supposed to be while they're in exile. Now, I'm going to say this. I am not in exile at all. I don't feel that at all. I love where I live. Somerset's beautiful, and we live on a beautiful lake. So that part of the story is not what's resonating with me. But the part of the story that is resonating with me is he tells them to seek the welfare of the city where you are, to pray for that city. How can you be effective as a Christian in that city? And is what I'm thinking. Excuse me. Just a moment. So I want to make sure you understand that. I don't feel like I'm in exile or anything like that. What I'm trying to glean from this passage is what God would have me to do where I live now. And so I'm going to remind us of what 29:11 says, and I'll read let's read through 13. How about that? For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you, and you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. And so I want to encourage you with that. That's where I am right now. I'm seeking the Lord. I'm asking him where I need to be work-wise, where I need to be with my small little business of cross-stitch and designing and project bags, that kind of thing. Where do I need to be? So if you pray, I would covet your prayers. If you have prayer requests, you can put them in the comments below. I read every comment, and I try to comment on every comment. At this point, I can. So let me encourage you with that. I do want to show you a project bag. These are coming, and so I'll show them to you all first. The way that you can know when my project bags are up for sale is I post them on my Instagram account, the So Just Because that I was telling you before, and you have to go over to my DStash page, and all you need to do is just go over to that page, and you will see them, and you just put me please or whatever, and that's how you get my bags. So this is one that's similar to one that I'll be posting. It won't be this exact one, but I have about, I think it's 5 others that look similar to this that I'll be posting. So they're pretty big bags, these particular ones, because of the centerpiece. They're quilted slightly, not a ton of quilting, but they do have quilting around the edge. This is a mitered border, so these bags will be a little more than the bags that I've posted before, just because there's a little bit more work in them. They have the YKK zippers. It's a really nice zipper. They have the lined inside, and then they also have my label inside. And this label is big enough, excuse me, in that you can hook a one of the I can't think of what I'm trying to say. The little circles that come apart, the binder clips, they can clip in here if you want your thread to hang. You could actually do that with that particular tag that I have in there. So these are coming. I almost forgot to tell you about that. So you can check my Instagram account, and they will pop up there, and then you can go to the D-Stash Instagram account. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. I know there are so many channels you could watch, so many good ones out there. I love watching Carol Saltbox Stitcher. I love watching Sean, the Periwinkle Stitcher, Lenny and Roberta, the Sable Stitchers. There's just so many that I enjoy watching, and they make me smile, and they encourage me, and so I'm thankful for this community. I hope you're having a great day. I'm praying for you if you live in California. I'm praying for your friends and your family. I know that that's devastating, and I still have North Carolina and the areas of Tennessee and Georgia and Florida in my heart as well after the hurricanes. So remember to pray for them too. There's still lots of suffering going on, and we could be praying for those folks that are really having a rough time right now. So I love you all. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.